I would rather say that you should go back to analyzing and understanding why, as a nation, or why, as India, we became very well known for software. In my opinion, it is mainly because, of course, we had good talent and intellectual power, but more than that, to run a software industry, there was very little to be invested in the form of infrastructure. So if you had collected a good number of people and given them a task, they would deliver the goods without actually setting up a huge manufacturing plant or an industrial base. Now, carrying it forward, that kind of formula, if you want to adapt to, let's say, the needs of a Make in India program for embedded design, it should be more focused on where is this embedded design going to be, whether it's in the agriculture sector or whether it is going to be in power sector or telecom sector. Now, if we start analyzing that way, probably you will find a very disappointed picture of what we did as a country in, let's say, telecom or any other field for that matter, including defense, if we are dependent on hardware or components that come from outside. So embedded software is tightly controlled or tightly linked to the hardware that it has to run on. So my take is we need to improve, of course it's synergistic, but we need to improve our capabilities in the manufacturing of hardware. And also when we look at Make in India for what? In the sense, is it just setting up a plant and creating employment, or designing it in India for the use of not just India, but the global community? Then we have to have capabilities and talents put in place to generate the knowledge that needs to go into next generation products. So here, I think there is a lot to be done, and I can only share my examples or my experiences from the defense sector. We, in the defense community, nothing is trusted. So if I have to depend on something that is imported, then there is a lot more customization that needs to be done, whether it is in software or in hardware. So let me take the example of even an operating system. To my defense customer, I cannot convey a message of comfort or security if I am open to vulnerabilities that are coming out of a dependent software that I depend on from outside. So if this is a challenge, then if we have to develop, let's say, an OS for India, it's a huge and gigantic task. And to address that, I don't think small incremental changes are going to work. It is a long and hard and challenging task that has to be given to the community of software engineers, which so far they have not done. In the consumer or the commercial software, they have not been mandated to develop such critical components for serviceability in the country. So in embedded software, there is a lot more to be done. In hardware, of course, the challenges I think we'll touch upon in the future questions. Unless as long as we are dependent on a community of component suppliers, then we are always threatened. So what are the bigger challenges of making that happen in India? They are not small topics. I think we'll touch upon those challenges in the next question.
Thank you, Ajit. Next question is for you, Ashok. Since your company Sonodyne has been so successful in terms, especially in the export market, please do share your success story and why is it so that many of us can replicate your story and make India a success story from that point of view.
See, the new electronic policy and initiative by government to make it India, and not only make it India for India, but for global market, throws new challenges to hardware manufacturing. And I firmly believe that it is possible that we can build up huge amount of capacity for hardware industry, which can be not only for consumer electronics, but also the entire segment of medical electronics and the whole industrial electronics and all that. Now, the question is that I will personally say that for hardware industry, it is very much essential, the environment like SEZ, where we have, apart from for the new companies, some income tax benefit and all that, That's not why you set up industry for incentives, but what you set up for incentive for ease of business. And I think ease of business, for exports particularly, SEZ is the ideal situation. And I personally think that any company which is coming in hardware must have some portion of its business to be export, so that you can also ramp up the quantity, and as a result your prices will come down, and with the volume justification. So, when you talk about export, you have to be very, they're saying that quality and timely delivery and the proper price or value of the product is very important. And I'm sure that as you start up with this process, you will not only become competitive for export, but also you will be very successful in the Indian market also. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashok. Sukit, there's a question in your direction. If the manufacturing of electronics is to increase from where it is today, what is it that we need to do more of, and what is it that we need to do less of?
Right. I can use our example to try and explain to you some of the problems that we have. We manufacture roughly about 3 million devices a year, electronics manufacturing, designed ourselves. One of the biggest challenges we find when we're competing against people who manufacture in the rest of the world, especially in South and Southeast Asia, is like the speed with which we can respond to customers. Not having a robust supply chain within the domestic arena leaves us very exposed. You know, even though it's just Singapore and it's a 4 or 5 hour flight from Bombay, it actually changes the risk profile a lot for us. So if we were to have 2 or 3 of the biggest distributors in the world set up distribution centers in India, that would mean that our supply chains would be hugely de-risked, and we'd be able to provide and service customers much faster. Along with that, we need bareboard capacity to go up, say, 8 to 10 times. Once bareboard capacity goes up 8 to 10 times, again, that's something that hampers speed today. It's a huge risk to our business, and we have methods of managing that. So, it's quite simple. It's not a lot, but it'll be costlier to begin with. The benefit of the extra cost you get is the ability to respond to customers and the ability to respond to the market. Our domestic consumption is more than ample to take care of a lot of the demand that we need in order to set up these facilities.
Great. Sukit, Ajit, would you like to add to that as to what is it that we need to do more of, and what is it that we have to kind of leave behind?
I feel to address the larger markets that are going to emerge both inside the country and outside, we can't adopt a policy of doing everything in the country. We'll have to do a lot more collaborative work, and like many other countries are doing, it is not that you have to do everything that it takes to make a product within your own control. The second thing is, in tomorrow's challenges, we are going to be exposed to more system of system kind of solutions. So we have to have a huge data bank as well as a partnership model built over with a large number of suppliers. The challenge there is to ensure quality when we are dependent on many vendors and suppliers who can actually make an integrated product. We have to go through that learning and then build this ecosystem of suppliers, vendors, and partners so that we can do it collaborative and collectively.
Thank you, Ajit. I think for want of time, I'll stop the panel discussion and rather open it to the floor. The audience should please feel free to ask any question that we want. Yeah, there's a gentleman there who's put up his hand. Yeah, please introduce yourself, yeah, and then ask the question.
Dr. Narayan Swamy from Atriums of Technology, Bangalore. I have one basic question to ask you that. all these, particularly starting from defense to manufacturing to automotive applications to the consumer electronics, India has a greater amount of design, you know, capacities and capabilities using various software tools called as Synopsys, Cadence, and so on and so forth. We design a lot actually. But thing is that the moment it comes to the manufacturing, then we'll have to depend on some other country like TSMC and various other countries. So particularly they're transforming India into that level, or the government of India with the new initiatives are going to take any of the initiatives wherein which we can, you know, design, we can really come out with a particular chip at any level, either it is a micro level or sub-micro level, where we can manufacture in India alone, a fab house I'm talking about. This is what my question is all about to you. Otherwise, maybe I think to all the panelists, any one of the panelists can answer. Particularly the defense side, the BL might not be, because you might be designing based on your customized requirement. The other, the panelists, particularly from the Sonodyne, I think probably you can answer to my question. Or is it only due to the economic viability that we are depending on other country to import, or what exactly is that? Thank you.
Sukrit, you want to take that first?
I think if I understood your question correctly, you were talking of why are we not as a country doing more and more front-end work on devices? Why is the front end going outside? Look, the reality of the electronics industry is such that the further up you go, every step you take, there is an order of magnitude difference in the investment you've got to make. Pure economics dictates that you actually need the demand within a country to create the next step of investment. You know, most of the principles are big multinational companies, and a foundry is, probably a few $1 billion worth of investments. They won't make that investment because they don't see India having any component demand right now. India's component demand is probably of the order of $400 million. That's probably about it, maybe $500 million. Due respect to all the principals who are sitting here, they don't get out of bed for $500 million worth of components when it comes to production facilities. So that's really the key. We've got to start from the demand, move up to product manufacturing, move up probably to distribution centers, ATMP, and then move into the front end. That's really the way you've got to suck getting more and more front end work into India. And that's probably a 25-year journey. The labor that we need will need that amount of time in order to be able to run those foundries.
I'll just add on.
Yeah, please.
While I very well reciprocate your views on why don't we have a component base in this country, I only want to add, there are 3 challenges as a nation we need to face and analyze before we say we can also make all kinds of components in this country. First, of course, as you said, we do fabless design, a lot of it in the country, but then if you have to set up a fab, the first thing, of course, it's a topic of a separate panel discussion, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But the 3 challenges are not just the money or the finance required to set up a foundry. The second and bigger challenge is to have the talent pool of manpower, not only to run that foundry, but also to feed that foundry with newer and newer designs. And the third and the most important challenge is actually to make such an infrastructure and investment secure from the sustainability point of view. There has to be a profitable business, not just for first year or third year, but then on a continuous basis. Because of the obsolescence that keeps setting in all these 3 challenges, unless we tackle them in totality, we will not be able to actually set up a good component base in the country.
Can I ask?